Hello, I'm Wally Haas. I'm your host for Rockford on the Record. And before you do anything else, please like our content, subscribe to our channel. We've got a lot of great things going on. Our guest today is Rockford Mayor Tom McNamara. And Mr. Mayor, Barber Colman, that big blight.
Yeah.
It's finally, maybe something's going to happen?
I certainly hope so, Wally. So you're talking 26 acres on the banks of the river on the southwest side of Rockford. Just think about it. Anyone who is 30 years or younger, all they know is those buildings have been blighted and sapping hope from anyone who walks or drives by it. So we are really excited. We have Jay Jeffers, developer out of Wisconsin, who's really interested in this. It's been approved by our Planning and Development Committee. It now goes to the full City Council on July 10th, and we're really excited. I mean, you're talking Phase 1A and Phase 1B. It's a $178 million development. All of the 9 historic buildings would be totally redeveloped. You'd have a brand new parking deck. You'd open up the banks of the river to the tenants as well as to all of us as residents and our visitors. You would have 100,000 square feet of commercial and retail space. It would just be an absolute game changer for our city and transformational for Southwest Rockford.
It's a great, I was honored enough to see a presentation on the Barber Colman complex. It really looks great, but, okay, in my 40 years of journalism in this town, I've seen lots of pretty pictures, lots of great artist rendering, lots of projects that were going to be game changers.
Yeah.
Why should I feel that this one's going to happen when those others didn't?
So, one, we're closer than we've ever been, by far. With this. I mean, it's through committee. We have a negotiated development agreement with the developer. It's through committee. It's now up to the council. So as my father always used to told me, a good Monday night will be 7 votes plus the mayor, and that's good government. So we're hoping for that, if not more, come Monday, July 10th. But this really, we're the farthest we've ever been. This developer hasn't just come in. They've been in our community for the last 2 years. They haven't just been in our community, they've been in church basements, holding public meetings, talking to residents about what they want to see. So you're not gonna be seeing like big box store stuff. You're gonna be seeing local entrepreneurs, our residents having space in Barber Colman and really filling needs. If it's a dry cleaner or a banking facility, filling huge needs that Southwest Rockford doesn't have right now. So this will be good for everyone in that area.
Now, Jay Jeffers, they've got a pretty good track record in other communities, do they not?
They really do. You can just look to Racine, Wisconsin. I believe they just entered Phase 5 of their major development there. They actually have a somewhat similar complex, old blighted commercial complex there that they've been redeveloping, and they are very methodical, and they've been very upfront and transparent with us throughout this process. We feel very good.
Now, the city's liability and the risk toward reward, from what I've seen in your presentation, it was rather minimal. Actually, it was less of a risk than what we've seen with, for example, the Embassy Suites.
Absolutely. So, I mean, 2 things. One, we have to do something with Barber Colman. It's not acceptable by anyone's standards the way it is today. So you can demolish it and get it ready for development. That'll cost the city of Rockford $18 million. We know that, we've done the estimates, and that's if everything goes well with the demolition. So $18 million. Then, as you rightly pointed out, you look to another transformational project in Embassy Suites. We put forward more than $32 million towards Embassy Suites, not including TIF, towards incentives on that, $60 to $80 million project. So a lot of city funds. This project, if it works to perfection, the city of Rockford will have 0 money in it. And let's say it doesn't, right? Everyone's gonna say, well, anything the government says, it never always works. So let's say it doesn't. We've planned for that as well. If we get Phase 1A and Phase 1B, and Phase 2 never happens, so it doesn't work to perfection, our risk is $6.5 million. But the reward is every single building over there is redeveloped. We have more than 330 new apartments. We have 100,000 square feet of commercial and retail space. We've opened up the banks of the river. We've gotten rid of, truthfully, our own liability at the city of Rockford by owning those buildings. So the risk and reward, there's no contest. The reward certainly far outweighs the risk.
Okay. Doing nothing is not an option.
It's not acceptable.
It's such an eyesore. It's, especially in such a main corridor of the city that leads you into downtown to some of the great things that we have going on there. So it needs to be done.
Absolutely. I mean, just look at South Main and what it bookends, the bookends of South Main. On one side, you have one of the world's fastest growing airports that now has 8,700 jobs and is growing every day. And on the other side, you have a downtown that's seen an absolute resurgence with nearly $1 billion worth of investments over the last several years in our downtown. We're seeing great things happen. You have a new fire station on South Main. You have a whole new South Main Street. You have a new clinic from Swedish American. Lots of things are happening. You look at the MegaFab facility on South Main. Justin Fern and Urban Equities is redeveloping that former manufacturing facility into apartments and lofts. So great things are taking place on South Main Street. Southwest Rockford this would be and will be a game changer. We just need council to support it.
So if council supports it July 10th, when will we see work begin?
So they've already bid the project. We've already gotten prepared to provide them permits. They want to start construction no later than 60 days after, but more than likely around 30 days after approval. They want to have shovels in the ground this summer.
Very good. So we'll see the picture of you with a shovel in the ground as with the normal obligatory shot?
The really awkward one that I'm wearing a helmet that's too big for me? Yes. I hope you'll see that.
Okay.
I'll gladly wear that helmet.
Very good. I hope to see it as well. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Wally Haas, Rockford on the Record.